Okay, hello, hello. I think everything's working now. Microphone was having some difficulties. Luckily, I have gotten better about watching OBS and seeing when the funny bar starts wiggling up and down to check. Because I have made that mistake before of just starting stream and yapping, and OBS just stopped recognizing my mic for a bit. Happens to the best of us, I suppose. Except I'm far from the best of us in terms of streaming. Nevertheless, we are here today to once again continue the Hollow Knight Silksong Depraved run. Let me go ahead and interesting. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. Go ahead and put a stop to the Donkey Kong jazz. I feel like we had a little bit higher than previously. But yeah, for those of you who were not here during the last live stream, there we go. The general rules is we're playing on normal. We're not playing Steel Soul yet. This is kind of more of a mock run, I suppose, if we wanted to give it some kind of official term. But we are not getting any upgrades, so not even so no skills, no tools, no mask, spool, or nail upgrades. Movement upgrades are allowed because they're needed to progress through the game, and ya boy needs his double jump. Though I'll probably go as long as I can without getting double jump. I know that it's going to be needed to some extent. It might be needed to get into Putrefied Ducks. I don't know. Well, I'm having to think about it. But we still got a ways to go before we get double jump. But movement upgrades are fine. They will eventually be required. And then the other major one is no healing. So we have 5 masks, and that's it. If we die, I have a funny little death counter that is working beautifully. So I said that I was going to go back and check the VOD to make sure that there was, in fact, 35 deaths, and that I did properly account. I didn't bother. So, we're just going to assume that 35 is correct. And hopefully we'll be a bit more diligent about making sure that everything is nice and kosher. Alrighty. So, like I said when we ended last stream, I have reached the point where I can no longer reasonably progress without getting Glide. I've gotten pretty deep into the game without getting it, so I can pat myself on the back for, I guess, added masochism. But we can deny it no longer. So we are going to... we are poor. I think we're going to have to go grind a little bit of money, just because I don't feel like walking all the way around. I want to grind a little bit of money so I can open up the Bellway, because I don't think we've done that yet. So it shouldn't be too much money. We might even be able to get it just with all the guys here in this room without having to go up to the Grand Reeds. I think if I can get like 60 or 80, I think 80 is a good number I'm confident in that it is. I think it might be 60. Oh boy. Yeah, parkouring against these guys without glide, claw line, or double jump is interesting. It's a lot like the reason why I kind of like challenge runs like these is that it's all fundies, you know. I feel like you can really just kind of lose track of a lot of the core, like paying attention to enemy patterns and dodging and avoiding, if you get too caught up in tool usage and other kind of just my numbers are better than yours kind of upgrades. So I think that's kind of what I found really appealing about both this challenge run as well as the Nest Lock back for Hollow Knight. Is that it although granted for Hollow Knight I definitely became very dependent on spell usage. in a way that I wouldn't otherwise normally do. I think if I were to do Nestlock again, I probably would restrict the spells. So I probably wouldn't pick up Abyss, Howling Wraiths, and I wouldn't get any of the spell upgrades. Dash, dash, dash. Gotta do the Alucard shuffle. I like, don't get me wrong, I love Era, and, you know, very, very fun mode of transportation, though there is something a bit more, I don't know, tactile about just slapping the bell compared to having to, you know, stand underneath the little archway and press upwards to call. I guess it's just a matter of, like, player feedback and also just the speed at which you're able to, you know, summon the fast travel. It's like those small, tiny little, like, 1 to 2 second differences that when you play the game long enough, you just kind of, just slowly kind of irks you the tiniest little bit. And it's honestly, it's not that big of a deal. But it's something that I've just continued to kind of stew on a little bit. Wait a second. I feel like I am losing track of where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, no, okay. How do I get to the room that Lace is supposed to be in? We're not we don't fight Lace because we have gotten into Act 2 without getting to that boss fight. Okay. Yeah, I think I was just tripping a little bit. Oh, right. We actually don't need to go this way. Yeah. I remember. So yeah, that's the arena where you would normally fight Lace. Fun little trick to skip the whole cutscene of the bell ringing. Though it's like, I wouldn't recommend that people do that for their first time, just because the bell ringing is like very cool and sort of helps set the tone of the game, and also it re-emphasizes one of the larger kind of reoccurring, I guess you could call it a leitmotif, because that's kind of how the game uses it. I can't remember the proper term, but apparently a number of songs in the game's soundtrack uses an old like Catholic hymn motif. I think, I can't remember the exact details, but it's meant to represent death, and so it's used in a lot of different media. But this game is kind of littered with it in a way that I think it's really cool. It helps kind of emphasize, like, if the game didn't make it obvious enough with, you know, rosary beads and and all of the religious iconography and sort of allusions that the game makes, it's a fun way to kind of call back to that and have a different type of expression of, you know, the kingdom. Because Hollow Knight was very, you know, it was, you know, all based off of the Pale King, the monarchy, and kind of had that sort of equating the monarchy to divinity, but still very much grounded in the, like, oh, the Pale King is a god, but he is a god that, like, is our, you know, our leader. Like, he's like, very tangible. Whereas clearly the kingdom of Farloom has sort of sprouted up around a larger understanding of faith and greater forces than just the leaders at work, which they're not entirely wrong about, because for most of Farloom's history, the leaders at work were not the pale being that caused the kingdom to, you know, come into being in the first place. Grandmother Silk has just been, you know, sleeping in a big old silk cocoon. But hasn't technically been leading for this entire time, though. To what extent that actually is the case is a bit in question, considering that the whole reason why enemies are hostile to Hornet is because of Grandmother Silk's influence over them. So even though Grandmother Silk isn't technically in the picture as like a known entity, she still clearly has some kind of perhaps subconscious influence. Oh man, what a cool background detail. I hope, you know, it's so lame that we never get to see this guy, you know, do anything. It's just kind of something that's, you know, that they never really elaborate on. But, you know, it's kind of those background details like that that make you have a better appreciation for the world building. Obvious. Obvious sarcasm is obvious. Let's not get killed right before we hit a bench, because that guy does double damage. Hello, seamstress. Oh, dang it, dang it, my muscle memory still isn't great with A is B and B is A. Nice. Oh yeah, we still need to pick up pilgrim shawls. 2 birds, 1 stone, that's nice. Okay, so for this, yeah, you want to really kind of get as many of the spines as you can before hitting it again, because the spines will eventually despawn. Dang it. Okay, so I don't think I can get that one. Ah, I could have gotten that one. Oh well. Suboptimal. I should have. Okay. Ah, okay. I'm really flubbing this one up. Alrighty. Ay, ay, ay. Can I hit that? Thank you. I didn't see any of them. Rip. Man, it would not look terribly good. It would not be a terribly good start to the stream. I didn't even get to finish my sentence.
Wow.
Yeah, it serves me right. I'm definitely just playing a little too fast and loose. Yeah, this. On one hand, it's like I know that if I tried to do Steel Soul at the current level of mastery of this game that I have, it would be a miserable time, and I'd be stuck in early game repeatedly, constantly, and it like my spirits would be super down. But if I'm not in Steel Soul, I do not play locked in, and I just, you know, act like a goober. So I end up, you know, arguably the quality of my play is generally worse, just because I'm suffering less, which, you know, on some level, I guess all challenge runs are the balance between enjoyment and suffering, of, especially when it comes to, like, you know, thinking about it as like a content creator, like, oh, I gotta be a content creator so I can get all the views and all the attention. You know, as a Twitch guy, I gotta make sure that I'm suffering as much as possible so that it really emphasizes just, you know, how crazy I am and you know, unique. Oh man, look at me. But oh right, I just forgot that I've spent so long without it. I forgot that I now have it. Yippee! I am Hornet Umbrella. And I am aware that there is a way to skip this boss. Oh, spoiler alert, this guy is a boss. But I believe the reliable method requires you to bind, and the riskier, unreliable method requires you to have an upgrade, like a tool. So neither of those options are viable for us. So we will continue just kind of... I mean, this guy's easy. If I die to this guy, I'm gonna put on the clown nose. I'm gonna be so real. Speaking of which, I do need to change my skin, my profile picture back, because I'm in Silksong mode. Or at least I should be in Silksong mode. I'm currently in normal gray mode. Oh boy, that thought he was just going to hit. I was trying to microspace a little too much, I guess. Okay. Yep. And that's GG. Get get crushed, idiot. Oh yeah, I can get the money over here now. Yippee! Money! Oh shoot, I totally forgot that I have a cocoon that I need to go retrieve, because there's a decent amount of money in that thing. Only noticed when I saw, it's like, oh, thought I had more money than that. And it's like, oh yeah, I did. And then I died. Because that's how this game works. If you can't tell, before this run, I've spent a lot of time doing Steel Soul attempts. I did successfully finish one, though it did have perhaps a few more panic quits than I would have liked. You know, that's another kind of thing about discourse about this game, that I'm sympathetic to both sides of, on one hand, hey, it's an intentional mechanic. The game is already really hard. It's not that big of a deal to just, if you make a critical mistake, to bail and respawn at the last bench and have to try again without immediately ending your, dozen-plus hour run. That always sucks. But it does sort of harm the authenticity of truly playing the game deathless, because if you were going to take a death, but by quitting the menu and re-entering, you are, you know, saved from all danger, that's, you know, that's not a terribly authentic play experience. So I definitely, like, want to get to the point where I can beat this game Steel Soul without, you know, without even really being a question of if I have to quit to menu. And hopefully, you know, challenges like this will help facilitate that by forcing me to learn, you know, enemy patterns and boss fundamentals, so that when I do play without all of these various restrictions, when I can play with healing, when I can play with tools and upgrades, it'll be a lot easier for me. Although I suspect, sort of the unfortunate thing is that I suspect if I go, you know, if I spend too long without ever healing, and then I immediately go back to a play style that includes healing, I will I will not pick up on good healing strats, and I'll just make, like, super risky and dumb healing all the time, because it's like, oh, well, I have the Silk, I can do the thing that I always wanted to do during my previous playthroughs that I wasn't able to because I put a dumb restriction on myself. So I am a little afraid that my my healing sensibilities may be a bit washed. Oh goodness, I did not mean to fall off that particular platform. Oh well. Man, this game's movement is so much fun. Like, it's so simple, but, like, oh, look at this. It's just butter. This game has some of the best controls in any, like, platformer. And I don't want to, like, it has the best controls of any Metroidvania. Because to me, Metroidvanias certainly, like, yes, platforming is a fairly big element in Metroidvanias, but combat is, you know, an equally important, if not more important element, in my opinion. Alongside and combat and platforming kind of combine into the broader scope of exploration, which is truly what Metroidvanias should be about, is exploration. So I would say for a game that puts a high emphasis on combat, this is some of the best controls. Like, this is the best platforming controls, period, for a combat-intensive game. For a game that is more about pure platforming, I would say games that put more emphasis on momentum, like Pizza Tower, Celeste, Super Meat Boy even, might have the edge. Now, I am just going here to pick up the flea. I honestly, do I really care? Yeah, let's just free this guy. He wants to get out. I want to leave. That's a win-win. I don't see myself coming back here anytime soon, so, you know, might as well. And then, is there anything I need to do in Greymore? I mean, kinda, sorta. I might as well just open it up. Why not? Alrighty. But yeah, I'm trying to think if we're going up to Greymore. it might still be faster to just open up the path to Greymoor and then immediately backtrack down. Oh no, did we? I'm not sure that we got... No, we didn't get the Bell Beast route for Greymoor, so let's just do that. Might as well. Ay, ay, ay. Pick up the money. I love those guys. Not because their attacks are annoying because they're bell throwers. Thankfully, they're grounded bell throwers, unlike the ones in the Citadel. But I think those guys are really funny because they remind me of that one animation channel on YouTube. I think his name's Bird, B-E-R-D. But like that bell thrower's face is like a one-for-one exact copy, and also the general body type as well. I wouldn't. It might just be pure coincidence, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Team Cherry was like, maybe they came up with the initial design and then they were like, huh, that kind of looks like Bird, and then they just leaned into it and made the tweaks to make it just kind of more blatantly obvious. I don't know, that'd be funny. Did I pick up the quest for this guy? I did, so might as well talk to him. So yeah, this guy wants his Scarecraw. Which again, it does re-emphasize the idea that the Craws are just straight up birds. Even though, as far as we're aware, everything in the Hollow Knight universe is bugs, with the exception of the mushrooms. Like, they are bugs of some variety. So, the Craw presumably are just bugs that happen to resemble avian creatures. Don't think about it, I guess. It's kind of the statement. Okay, I've got enough money to buy the pneumo tube in the Grand Bellway, which is sort of the next thing to buy. We really are living a paycheck to paycheck out here. Hello, Rose. How are you doing? That might have been my keyboard disconnecting. Oh well, we'll deal with that when it comes up. Man, I'm getting schooled by the easier enemy to deal with. I'm good. Down 2 mean bowls of soup. That's a lot of soup. I mean, I guess I've never truly been satiated by only 1 bowl of soup, but I've never really had the thought of like, yeah, I like soup so much, I want 2 bowls of it. If I'm eating soup, then I'm kind of struggling. Like I usually only eat soup when I'm sick, in which case I don't have the appetite. My free will allows me to have a bowl and surely another. I mean, yeah, no, that's fair. I was just thinking about why I've never had 2 bowls of soup. And the answer is I just don't like soup that much. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, let me actually pause real fast and... oh. There we go. Okay, that should be... Yep, there we are. Back to the Skong Gray. taking notes on all my likes and dislikes. Gonna try and steal my identity, Rose. Well, I'm not telling you my mother's maiden name, so don't bother asking. Let's go ahead and get the pneumo tube for down here. Yes. What's your mom's maiden name? Man, it's real funny. I just forgot it. That's crazy. I just slipped my mind. I guess I'm a bad son. Alright, this next section, I have... It shouldn't be hard. It's just a long... It's just a long vertical shaft with, like, one-hit kill enemies. It shouldn't be hard. I shouldn't lose any health to it. But if every time I like, I do the thing of, like, oh, it shouldn't be hard, and then I go faster, and then I get hit. Like that. Perfect example. I was just not looking at the enemies directly below me, and instead just kind of watching the explodey guy who already died. Nice. Nice. Ta! Oh my goodness. Oh, and my keyboard. Yep. I'm gonna need to find what exactly is wrong with my keyboard, because it's getting to the point where basically every day I'm having to unplug it and replug it.
Oh!
Look, you're trying to make some kind of, like, sexual innuendo out of what I said, but honestly... Oh, well, you know, it's granted. You said it not like... I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm glad to... Hey, man, if I'm entertaining, then, you know, I guess I'm doing my job, right? Watch out for explodey guy. Laugh at the pain and suffering of others. Yeah, I think there's... Is this a flea? I think this is a flea. Either that or it's more upgrade ore that I'll never use. Actually, I think that's exactly what it is. Nice. Yeah, this is the model. It's a GIF file, but yeah, this GIF is the one that I use when playing Silksong. Yeah, so we went down this hallway for no reason. We do need to backtrack to get that flea that is at the bottom of the elevator shaft. See, I feel like, you know, I don't fault Twitch chat for doing the job of, like, ayo, streamer said funny thing out of context, clip that. You know, that's your guys' job. My job is to play the game and ramble. But I'm now that I'm trying to be more cognizant of it because I just got caught. I just got caught in 4K. I feel like if you just specify every time elevator shaft, there's less chance of it being interpreted in any particular way. Even though that elevator shaft actually doesn't have an elevator, and in no point ever would have an elevator because it clearly has platforms meant to ascend and descend. Yo, hello, silly Billy. How you doing? We got claw line. Heck yeah. There are better ways to describe an elevator. Bro, I got home from my 9 to 5. How's Skong been? Skong's been great. Doing pretty well. I mean, I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have this many deaths, before we've even gotten to, like, High Halls Arena. But we're doing fine for a no healing, no upgrades run. Don't ask me to do it in Steel Soul though. The flesh is weak. Look at Gray, too employed to not sound homoerotic. Yeah, I'm doing a challenge run. So I'm calling this the Depraved run, based off of the Depraved class from Dark Souls. So no equipment, no healing. Yeah, I'm not a like. There's a reason why I only have 5 masks at Act 2, and it's not because I'm. Wow. Okay. I just didn't press up. That's a little embarrassing. But yeah, there's a reason why I only have 5 masks into Act 2. It's not because I'm a speedrunner. I have gotten the speedrun achievements. I got them, I mean, I think after I did my first playthrough, I basically got Silksong a second time for the Switch, and then I went on a trip to Europe, and then during that trip, I was like, I'm going to have my first profile be my speedrunner profile. And that was a very long plane ride, is learning how to do the basic speedrunner route. Ay. Oh, I went to, let's see, we started in the Czech Republic, Prague, or was that Germany? Yeah, no, it was Prague. Prague is in the Czech Republic, and then we went to Munich, and then we ended the trip in Amsterdam. So that was a pretty fun trip. It was with my brother and some of his friends. But it was a good time. We went during, like, we were only in Munich for like half a day, basically. It was not very long at all. Oh, that's sick. Well, greetings from the US. But yeah, we went there. The like half a day we spent in Munich was actually during Oktoberfest, which was really cool. So I can say that I've actually been to Oktoberfest in Munich, Germany. Alrighty, so from here, I think we go down, yeah. And then this allows us to get the first of the 3 parts of this what is it called? The conductor's melody? MacGuffin. We get the first part of the MacGuffin. I think this is the right way. Pretty sure. We'll see. No, yeah, no, this is I know I'm close, but I'm not quite where I want to be. Way to stick the landing there. Okay, is it up here, or is it to the side here? Trying to remember. Nope. Okay, wait, no, this is wrong. No, I think I need to go down, because this is exhaust organ. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, wait, would fall... Okay, yeah, might be more to the right here. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to remember. Think this might be it. I thought this was the section was a dead end, but I might be tweaking. So yeah, this is the dead end with the corpse and it, you know, needling, yada yada yada. What does this guy say again? I kind of forgot. Yeah. Poor bugs, conscripted to work in service of a system that is willing to, you know, literally just work them to death. And here we go, we found it. We found it. Isn't there a... There it is. Here it is. I knew I was close. Little secret. This guy is actually really cool. Hark, Ilgrim, you climb our eternal embrace, who stands the threshold, our stark citadel of stone. No, true service may now commence. Forget your weary shell, forgo, urge to still. Arlum commands, give, greatest gift, join our raise, shell, voice, and sing. Ilgrim, cast aside those many sinful hopes for rest, reward, remain pure, within our midst, for nothing. See, citadel's simple stone, bare and adorned. See, ain our garb, how sparse, meal. Know that excess is sin. Stay vigilant, for the wretched pilgrims dare their base desire left unpunished, then our pure chorus, ere seductive sin, pred like flame. So yeah, this actually is a really dope, because this is clearly from this statue is clearly from a time. One could argue, like, it's kind of hard to pin down the exact time of when this statue was made. I would be willing to put it shortly after the Weavers left and when the Conductors took control, because this technology is pretty similar to, like, the fourth chorus, which is associated with the architects. So I would pin this as sort of like the early conductor's reign. And it's clear that the Citadel originally wasn't this grand, you know, gilded, extravagant place, but instead, you know, simple stone, sparse meals. Like it was more like a Catholic monastery than a cathedral. That, you know, the whole point was religious worship through you know, lack of excess, through, you know, what's the words, rationing, whatever you call it. But clearly, as the generations went on, that message was well and thoroughly abandoned in favor of religious fervor and the promises of greatness and purity and, you know, ascension, redemption, and, you know, reward. Which, hey, you know, as a Protestant, as a filthy Protestant who shirks and shuns the extravagance and excess of the church in favor of a more intimate and personal relationship with God, I kind of vibe with the message that that the more simple way of religious worship is one that is less prone to political corruption and power mongering. All right, but we have claw line now, so we can. Oh, I should probably go. Rip. I was forgetting myself for a little bit. We should go ahead and learn the conductor's the Vault Keeper's melody. Is it here, or do I need to go up more? I think I actually went the wrong way. Oh well. Yeah, I did go the wrong way. Oops. Even if I had a map, this place is a little hard to pin down where exactly everything is, because it's, I'd say of all the regions, this one has the problem of everything just kind of looking the same. And because the rooms are so kind of vertically oriented and blocky, you can't even just sort of go by like room shape, which is what I usually do for most areas. But yes, I will happily turn over my psalm cylinders for some extra money. Yeah, you're gonna lurk. That's cool. Hold on, let me... Thank you, Vault Keeper. Let me press funny deny button on auto. I'm glad that that Twitch's auto mod is well, at least in that instance, was able to detect the bot account lobbying for, you know, get more followers on, you know, insert slop bot site. I have one average viewer per stream, and I'm proud of it. Gosh dang it! I don't need no bots. Look at me, my my avatar is a GIF file that I made in Microsoft Paint with a mouse. Do you think I want to spend money? I do believe we need to do these wishes in order to get to Act 3, so I might as well just spend the money now while I have it. Alright, up next is the Clockwork Core. Could I run past these guys? Of course I could. But I am very poor, and I would like extra money so that I can buy more fast travel points, and eventually I do need to pay the, like, I think there are 3 more quests that are going to require me to donate money. And so I think in total, like, the amount of money I need to get for those quests is like 1,000 rosaries. Because I know there's a second Songclave one, and I know there are 2 related to getting a bell home. And they're all in sort of the, like, 300 to 400s, I think. So, getting money now when I'm near the enemies that are pretty easy to grind for. Okay, I didn't get the entrance on this side, did I? No, I didn't. Okay. But I did get the halfway entrance, so there's that at least. Oh, this is so much nicer with Glide. Oh my goodness. Doing this without Glide was you know, you always underestimate just how much the ability to just air stall helps you until you don't have it. So close. There we go. Nice. Up. Ay. Okay, let's go ahead and just get that opened up and get this opened up, and then we go back to the bench at the bottom of this room before we continue on. I'm not sure if we need to free Green Prince from his prison before getting to Act 3. I don't think it's a prerequisite to get the quest, but we'll see. I mean, it'll be a thing that I'll probably want to do eventually anyway, because I have every intention of, like, doing as much content as possible without having to get upgrades. So, like, any additional content that forces me to, like, get, you know, upgrades, I will try to avoid. But most bosses in this game don't actually give you an upgrade, which is maybe a criticism. I think perhaps compared to Hollow Knight, I feel like in general there are less bosses that are directly tied to upgrades. Instead, most bosses are blocking progression, and then, you know, progression to new areas that have upgrades inside of them. So it's kind of a roundabout way of blocking upgrade of, like, you know. But there aren't many bosses where it's like, oh, you beat this guy, and then as a reward you get new tool, in the same way that Hollow Knight did with, like, you know, Mothwing Cloak or Monarch Wings. Ah, I'm bad. Oh, you're supposed to go down here, dummy. Come on. There we go. Ah, wow, I completely biffed that one. Was not lining up at all. Alright, we made it. Not even worried, not even for a moment. Alright, I forgot the sequence to do this puzzle quickly, so we're just gonna do it manually. I think it's one with this guy, and then you just line up from there. Yeah. No, that's not right. I think it's two. No, that's not right. That seems to be right. Okay, cool. Okay, so this guy maybe? Is that? No, that's not lined up at all. Oh, but that is. Okay. I think that's right. Okay, let's see. There we go. First try. Heck yeah. The sequence is so cool. Like, it seems to me that again, the presumption is that the architect, the vault keeper, and the what is it, the conductor? Yeah, the conductor, the architect, and the vault keeper. The presumption is that they were emblematic of the era after the Weavers. But it's still, like, and, you know, that era is often sort of, there's a lot of lore that indicates that that is the era where things kind of started to decline. And the various corruptions of the Citadel became more and more irredeemable. I just threw myself into the... But it's still really cool to see that they're, like, even for the conductors, flawed as they were, there's still a lot of, like, effort and work that they did into just kind of, you know, just keeping up the song. And even if it was for a lie that maybe not all of them truly understood, I don't know. I think that there's kind of a nobility in the attempt and the effort that they made. It's kind of similar to, like, you know, again, going back to my my hello, Evil Inspector. How you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave auto mod to keep that one blocked. But yeah, hope you're doing well. The, Uh-huh, yeah, you want to say it for the rest of the class? I mean, I actually don't say it, because I've explicitly allowed automod to not let you say it, so... Cope, I guess. I should probably go ahead and... Can I do it from here? I can't remember. No, I don't think this is the right way. I know that I do kind of want to get the pneumo tube for the like this part of the map. Ay. Get some upgrades? No. There'd be no point. I'm a man on a mission. Just one wouldn't hurt. If you're so insistent, I do technically already have 2 that I had to get for progression. I didn't technically have to get this one, but I wanted. But I'm not using them, but I do have them, so I'm. Ay. Okay, nearest bench. Yeah, we're not too far away from the nearest bench. I don't think. Oh, bro, I bonked my head on the freaking clock platform. That sucks. Okay. This dude is a freaking sniper with these bells, let me tell you. Okay, we made it past. Oh, that's actually something I need to do while I'm in high halls. I need to solve the spider problem. Oh, wait, but I can't because I don't have double jump. Shoot. Oh, this is gonna suck. Oh, do I go ahead and get double jump now? Oh, no, bro. I might need to get double jump now. Fine. You know, fine. We'll go ahead and get double jump. Because I want to deal with those spiders. Those spiders suck. So for the uninitiated, the little mechanical spider that spawned in, they randomly spawn throughout. Yeah, that guy. They will drain your silk and then create a massive projectile. Granted, I'm not really using silk at all, so I guess they're not that much of a nuisance. But still, I just rather not have to deal with them if I can get away with it. And so there is a consistent way to just permanently sort of disable them in the area that I just dipped into, the high halls. But in order to do that, I need to get double jump to access that area. So we're gonna take a detour away from the main quest to go grab the double jump upgrade. Which means we should be... Okay, I don't remember. This might be just completely wrong way detour. But we'll see. Ay, this frickin' bell sniper, dude. Thank you. Oh, yeah, this is just money. It's just pure. Because there's a place you fall in from, like, up here. When going into it from a different room. I was thinking there might have been a flea on the other end of that room, but nope, I'm just hallucinating. I think this is the way. Yeah, this seems about right. Yep, okay, so there's the slab. Let's go ahead and go down briefly. Oh, this is I forgot this is a combat room. Oh well. Bring it on. Hindsight, I probably should be focusing the grounded guy instead of the flying guy. Just because the grounded guy is more obnoxious to dodge around. But, oh well. Come on. Man, those guys have a lot of health when you don't have any damage upgrades. That sucks. Prioritize bell thrower. Frick a frack, man. It's like they just have future sight, and they just know exactly where you're gonna panic run to. Because I was dashing back and forth. And I just happened to just stop right where the bell was gonna land exactly in and I jumped right into that dude's shot. I mean, like, I'll hand it to Team Cherry. I don't know what they programmed into flying enemies, but they gave them real good sauce in terms of being able to predict where you're wanting to run to. Because I swear, some enemies just straight up predict. They're like, okay, I see that you're moving in this direction while I'm in aiming mode, so I'm going to presume that you're going to run to here and jump. Either that, or there's just intentional random variation on where they're going to throw. And so, most of the time, they don't actually throw where you currently are, so by moving, you are actually making it more likely to get hit. It's like one of those two things. It's either just a pure... like, we're going to hard code to bait people into running and then punish them for it, or a super complicated, like, predicting algorithm. And I don't know which one is more insulting to me, to be honest. Like, is it more insulting that the devs, like, poured their hard, you know, like, blood, sweat, and tears into making a system designed to precisely track where I should be going to and punish me for it? Or do they just make it random chance and save themselves all that labor and I still get hit by it like a dang fool? I think the latter one would upset me a bit more. I would like to think that the Team Cherry just masterminds. Come on. There we go. Okay. These guys, like, it's like, oh, all they do is just jump and roll at you. They're not that hard. But then, like, compared to other enemies, they suffer, like, seemingly a bit less knockback than other enemies of similar size. And so it kind of throws me off sometimes of, like, whether or not I'm flying too close to the sun and they just kind of just body slam me. Come on, guys. Okay, can you just get away from the ground? You guys are supposed to be flying enemies, not just hit me with your body enemy. Like, I don't know. Oh goodness, I'm choking so hard. Did I add a death? I don't think I might not have. I can't recall. Oh, you're kidding me.
Wow!
I'm gonna assume that I forgot to. I'm gonna make a note. Let's see what time. 1:15. I'm gonna make a note to check and adjust the death count because I might have, might not have. I can't recall, but yeah, no, those spiders are really frustrating. They're frustrating generally because of their ability to steal your silk, which is annoying for normal people. It's less frustrating for me, again, because I don't care that much about my silk. But they still are flying, evasive enemies that have a very, very quick little melee attack. So, like, they don't need to have that gimmick. Just their basic existence is already makes them one of the more frustrating enemies to deal with. So if I can, I would like to get rid of them as soon as possible. I think I've already taken 2 massive damage. Do I keep pressing? No, I should probably go grab a bench in the slab just to heal up. Trying to think. Not every bench is going to be available to me. I think the only bench that's available to me now is going to be the one next to the station. Any day now. Alright, we'll just go ahead and... of course. Alright, just run past. Okay, we don't have any money. We did sit on that bench. Let's go ahead and go back for my cocoon. I mean, alternatively, we go do the thing that I wanted to do and then go back to that arena with the benefit of a double jump. But honestly, I don't think double jump's gonna help me that much. If I could... Okay. This is... I've now put myself into a rather unfortunate scenario where I have rested at a bench that might be more difficult to get back to my cocoon unscathed. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna cut my losses. I have a Silk Eater. I want my money back. That's what they're for. It honestly makes more sense to use it proactively than try and greed all the time, which is my default instinct. But now I can wash my hands of that arena for the time being and just move on. the other thing that I do need to do is buy all of Chakra's maps, so might as well just dump my money so that I can't lose it all being an idiot. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah. I'm surprised they bothered to include dialogue being like, hey dummy, buy a quill. Because I feel like most people, even playing for the first time, would read the descriptions of all the items and be like, yeah, a quill seems pretty reasonable. I'm not buying it because I want to get the funny Act 3 Trobio quill. Because I don't really look at my map at all anyway, so might as well accessorize my quill. Ooh, that was close. Didn't mean to play that one so close to the chest, but... I really like this, I really like Mount Fae a lot. The music is very, in my opinion, a little bland, which is unfortunate because this place is beautiful. You know, it does its job. It is atmospheric. I can't fault it for that. But, you know, I don't know. I usually like my music to have a bit more of a melody, something that's a bit more substantive than just kind of a vibe. But I can kind of get wanting Mount Fae to be a bit more toned down, because it's meant to be kind of quiet and lonely. There's not many enemies here. It's sort of this serene place that hasn't quite been touched by the Citadel. So I get the need to not, you know, give it a real banger of a melody, but I like my banger melodies, what can I say? Let's go ahead and grab this bench right here. Oh, hold on. Okay. just waffling on the side of the platform. Well, that's... Man, I'm trying to be too fancy. I think that's the thing. I'm just trying to be too optimal with my schmovement. Ooh, that was close. That was very, very close. Alrighty. Do you have float check? Yes, no. I do kind of wish there was a way, like, I think when the game first released, there was a glitch in the level geometry that allowed you to bypass needing to get float in order to get clawline. I kind of wish they left that in, because I don't know, I would have really appreciated and respected them if float was something that the game very much wanted you to get, but it was still possible to complete the game without ever needing to, like, without ever getting it. Because as much as the float, like, is super clutch and is, like, fine and functional to use, I kind of like sort of the no handholds, you know, you live or die by your jumps, and you can't just kind of air stall for free. But I get that not being Team Cherry's vision. I just kind of disagree with the vision. Another bench. Nice. That was a tight, close shave. Rip. Ay. Man, sometimes I just kind of send the claw line just the tiniest bit too early, and you just kind of get stuck. Hitting yourself against the little flying guys. That might just be a me problem. I don't know if you have to read that in order to... I think you could probably just walk up and start playing it, but... Oh well. Yeah, hindsight, I'm very glad I decided to go for this rather than trying to attempt high hauls without double jump. It just it also helps like the actual platforming in high hauls easier. But yeah, trying to do the high hauls gauntlet without double jump or without like eliminating the spider problem. No. I'm tying enough limbs behind my back. I don't need to add those as well. But yeah, we are now immune to the effects of cold weather because we stuffed a bunch of feathers in our cloak. And then with, I don't know, either the spirit of the Fey bird or whatever the heck it's called, or I don't know, maybe Fey down feathers are considered close enough to Silk for Hornet's Silk manipulation abilities to also extend to it. I'm not really sure what exactly is enabling the down feathers to form into wings. To propel her into the air, but I'm appreciative of it. Alrighty, now to... Ay. Just jump. It's honestly so nice to just be able to jump over most of your problems. Enemies in this game are a lot more aggressive, or not necessarily aggressive, or a lot more squirrely than the enemies in Hollow Knight, but equally, Hornet is a lot more slippery of a character compared to the Knight. So I think it kind of evens out. It just sort of raises the skill floor of dodging enemies, which I appreciate. At the end of the day, this game very much is a sequel. And I think in some ways, if Silksong wasn't a sequel, and this was Team Cherry's first game, it would be a lot more divisive, and people would probably be a lot more critical of some of the decisions in terms of, like, balance and difficulty. So I think it's kind of an interesting instance where a game actually kind of is elevated from its status as a sequel, whereas most people just kind of assume if it's a sequel, then its status is sort of diminished, or it kind of has to hold. It has different expectations than a normal game, and that's the case. Like that, because it is a sequel, it does have different expectations. But I think in this case, Team Cherry sort of leveraged that to their benefit by making a game that builds off of the first one. Not just in terms of complexity of ideas, but just in what it demands and asks of the player. Get whiffed, idiot. Ay, ay, ay. Can't believe I got hit by that. Okay, the combination of these two is probably the most annoying combination of, like, any two singular enemy in the game. And like, they just perfectly cover each other's weaknesses in a way that is obnoxious. Ay, ay, ay. This is, I mean, I guess it's good practice for high halls. Oh, also, huh, yeah, I guess that is a hard save point. Yeah, so fun fact, the game has multiple sort of quote-unquote hard save points where you get, after you get each major upgrade. And so if you ever die before sitting on a bench, you get teleported back there. Oh, come on, dude. That sucked. That was a... I really don't want to lose my cocoon. That'd just kind of be salt in the wound at this point. Yes, I am aware that it's... Oh, you guys can't see that because I'm blocking... my GIF is blocking it, but, Mount Faye appeared on the corner. Like, I don't already... Like I didn't spawn at the peak of it. It's like, oh, man, where am I? Am I in bile water? But yeah, I'm gonna keep trying this gauntlet even though I don't... Like, there's nothing that I need to do that's behind it, but it's practice for high halls. And so if I can't do this gauntlet, then the likelihood of me being able to do high halls is also pretty low. I did consider, and I guess I'm still considering it, a part of me wants to get the, what's it called? The Plasmian file. Not so that I can use it, but so that I can progress the wormways into having life seed cocoons, so that I can get lifeblood before taking on the High Halls Arena, because that extra health will make a pretty big difference. Okay, I'm just getting cornered, man. Like, these dudes are just slowly, like, perfectly covering each other's blind spots and forcing me into each corner. That is obnoxious. As I whiff all of my attacks like an idiot. Oh my goodness, dude. This... I feel like this arena is somehow... Yeah, no, it is much worse than High Halls, the High Halls Gauntlet in terms of, like, the platforming. Because the corners of the room are rounded like they are, it means that if I get pushed into a corner, I can't just climb the wall and jump over. I'm just actively getting screwed by these enemies who are like getting pushed down on top of me. Because normally the flying enemies have the wherewithal to not just like body rush, like just body hit you. But when there's no when the ceiling is so low, that's kind of all that they end up doing, because they want to try and get away from you horizontally. And so they push themselves further into the corner where they get pushed down vertically. Ay, ay, ay. Like, unironically, I think certainly the level design of this gauntlet is much more difficult than the High Halls one. Even though High Halls is going to be far and away what I will spend the majority of this stream on. I mean, we're an hour and a half in. I'm not sure how long I will be streaming. But let's see, what time is it? It's already almost 9:30, so maybe not the majority of the stream, but like once when we get to High Halls, the High Halls Gauntlet, we'll spend the rest of stream doing that. I very much doubt we'll be able to beat it this stream. We will start the attempts of High Halls Arena. Like, dude, these guys are so obnoxious. All right. Okay, I hit you. I don't care. I don't care what you say. You did not hit me. I should have hit you. Two, three, four, five. Okay. We're good. We're good. Try and not lose track of the one that I've been hitting a lot, so I can just kill him fast. Okay, okay, we're doing pretty good. Ooh boy, that was close. Okay, that was the last guy. Sweet. So yeah, the time that we got really close, right before bailing to Mount Faye, it was literally just that spider. He was probably like, that spider's like probably 1 or 2 hits away. That sucks. But it happens. Oh well. Can't help it. But our reward for all of this trouble is a singular pneumotube. Yippee! Trying to think what else. We'll just head to First Shrine, I think. I think we already picked up the quest to find the shopkeep, but we haven't actually found him yet. Yeah, Wandering Merchant. So it wouldn't be a bad idea while we're on this side of the map to go ahead and do that, because I'm almost 100% confident that that is a prerequisite Act 3 quest. I should probably pull up on the wiki the prerequisite quests. I really get spooked by how the Grand Reeds are just like ever so slightly faster than Hornet. Get away from me, you monster. I'm trying to recall where the merchant is. I want to say... I don't think this is right. Yeah, this isn't the right room. Yeah, this isn't right. Okay. We go here, and then through here. Yep. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, 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 swimming. Screw you, spider. I don't need to put up with you. And then I want to say it's this room. Yep, sure is. Let's go ahead and deal with this. Get drowned, idiot. Come on. You want some of this? Come on. I know you do. Get drowned, idiot. Dance on him, dance on him. Hello, Jubilana. How you doing? And then while we're on this side of the map, let's go ahead and open up the White Ward, even though we don't need to be exploring it, but I think that might be a prerequisite to get Sherma to go here. I'm not sure if we need to explore the White Ward all the way in order for Sherm. Like, we'll check in back on the quest board to see if that's the case. Actually, do I think actually this is the way to go. Yeah. Still getting used to having the double jump. Like, sometimes there are some moments where it's like you just kind of want to glide immediately after doing a singular jump, and then you do a double jump instead, and it's like, oh right, yeah, I do that now. Oh goodness. Yeah. As much as I love the Hunter moveset, vertical spikes like that can sometimes be a bit tricky. Or, it's unintuitive, let's put it like that. Where you need to back away because the Hunter dive has a wind-up period where Hornet starts moving before the hitbox comes out, or maybe the hitbox is behind the hurtbox for, like, the first couple frames. I'm not really sure which one is technically accurate. But the effect is, if you try and dive too close, you will not have a hitbox, and you will most likely slam your face into whatever you were trying to hit, which is ill-advised 99% of the time. Oh, this guy. Okay. So most of the time, or I guess in the High Halls Gauntlet, where I have fought this guy the majority of the time, those little cog flies don't actually reach low enough to hit you, but I guess that's circumstantial depending on how high up he is. Now this is the question. Okay, I think it's up. I need to go up first. Yeah, this is not the way. Please ignore me, good sir. I do not want to have to deal with you. I don't need to deal with you either, sir. This is a Wendy's. I think this is just money. I'm like 99% sure. Yeah, it's just money. But hey, we'll take it. Oh, dummy. Okay. You're kidding me. I can't believe I fell on the same spike twice. Ay. I've been doing that a lot this stream. I've just been rushing. And just landing in the exact same spike just multiple times. Like a goober. There is a cylinder, music cylinder that's up there. But this is the room that I will be getting to, but I need to heal first. Go ahead and get the money for... I technically didn't need to break those in order to get this pneumo tube, because I had 100 already, but oh well. And so I think short of the Memoriam, we've gotten all the pneumo tubes for the Citadel. So that's nice. But yeah, this room, when I first played through this, I knew for a fact that there was something weird about this room, but I just didn't put two and two together that you could just slide this. I might have actually had the wherewithal to slide this thing around, but I didn't put it together that the waterfalls were the hint that there was something up there. So this room is filled with spiders, and so you just kind of ignore them, or try to ignore them best you can. Climb up here. Don't get hit by the spikes like an idiot. And then cut this string. And all of the spiders will die, and they will no longer bother you. If I had the Hunter's Journal, a notification would appear that I instantly unlocked the sort of the text that you get for hunting a certain number of enemies. So like it automatically gives you the full entry if you cut that thing. Which again, nice foresight by Team Cherry, because that would, you know, if you cut that string, you're never going to have to fight another one of those things again, which mean if you didn't meet the quota for spiders, then you'd just kind of be screwed out of the entry otherwise. So, I've been rambling a whole lot, talking about the High Halls Gauntlet, High Halls Gauntlet. This is the High Halls Gauntlet. 10 waves of lots and lots of enemies. But, as I expressed earlier, nice wide open arena. So we'll be playing very slow, very defensive, trying to surgically remove problem enemies or enemies that are easy to take out quickly. So priority is low health or high annoyance. But yeah, these... honestly, any flyer gives the grounded sword guy a pretty nasty companion, because he's just a menace in terms of ground control. Like, his attacks just demand a ton of respect. And he is more aggressive than his flying companions most of the time. So it's this sort of odd tempo of them kind of trading positions back and forth a lot. Ay, okay, that was crummy. So I did recently do the high halls without healing, and minimal upgrades, so I didn't... So, like, I have experience, but I did not do it without any upgrades or abilities. I had cross-stitch, I had some tools that I was making very liberal use of. So this is definitely going to be a much more, like, I don't know how much more, like, percentage-wise difficult, but I think I'm not going to be able to get nearly... The rate of attempts is going to be a lot slower, because the only viable strategy is low and slow. Okay. Up next, these guys. Ay, that sucks. Yeah, that really sucks to get hit by the 2 damage attack. What's annoying about these guys is that they have a tendency to be more push forward in terms of flying enemies, so they will just kind of hit you with contact damage randomly. And then they are constantly countering. And that's not, like, the counter is easy to dodge. That's not the issue. It's just, you get frustrated. Like, they play, their strategy, I feel like, is more one of whittling down your patience more than actually being a threat. These guys, however, these guys suck. Especially with 2 of them. So, you just need to watch what both of them are doing simultaneously and try not to get overwhelmed by all the flying things on screen, and then accept the fact that they throw the cogflies with random variation, and that the positioning you put yourself in to dodge one cogfly very well could screw you over against the other the other cogfly that's being thrown at you. And that's just, like, it's kind of my biggest criticism of the High Halls Gauntlet, as I have experienced it, is that there's just kind of some luck checks that feel very difficult to minimize. Yeah, that's on me. I know he has a follow-up, but I'm being a goober. Okay, yeah, this is kind of a wash, but we keep going. Oh, also,
Oh!
gonna need to keep that on standby, because you'll be hearing it a lot tonight. Ay, 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 dude, the backhand. Oh.
Oh!
There we go. So yeah, I might put on some other music. Maybe just for my own sanity, because I've listened to this High Hulls encounter theme for hours, dude, within the past, like, couple of weeks. It's been a lot. And I'm getting a little tired of it, to be honest. It's you know, it's a good track. I will never besmirch any song in this soundtrack, but like, it's the same thing with the Pantheon music. At a certain point, I just got tired of it, dude. And it became associated with a source of frustration, so, you know, you can't salvage the vibes. Contact damage on... I would probably say... Again, this is something that I've eternally done, is complain about contact damage in these games. And I always sort of put it the caveat of, like, I'm not saying that no contact damage would solve the game. However, I feel the game has the potential to be improved with a design conceit that some enemies should not do contact damage. Like, if some bosses don't do contact damage because they're so large that it only makes logistical sense for them to be in the background, my opinion is that some enemies should just not do contact damage. And, of course, the problem with that is, like, how do you clearly define when an enemy should do and should not do contact damage? And I don't have an answer for that. But... especially flying guys, it just feels so bad when the random kind of pitch and bob in their height is the thing that does you in, rather than any of their actual far more annoying attacks. It's like, this bro isn't even trying to kill me, and he's succeeding by existing. Yeah, that happens. Contesting the multi-attack that those guys do is very foolish, because they have a ton of, like, those things are heavy. They're probably one of the heaviest flyers in the game. And I'm not even sure if weight is a proper, like, factor. I don't know what's going on underneath the hood, but in terms of my experience of describing how it feels to fight them, they feel like the heaviest... Oh, hold on.
Oh!
There we go. They feel like the heaviest flyers of the game. So when they go for that multi-attack, they have a lot of momentum behind them. So contesting, like, even if you manage to get the clink, like what's the clank? Yeah, I'm trying to use Smash Bros terms here. Even if you get the clank off of them, they will still continue to move forward. And because it's a multi-attack, you'll just get hit by the other, the other swings of their stupid headpiece.
Oh!
Alrighty. If I was Twitch savvy enough and if I had a consistent enough audience, I would probably have a poll running of, and like an ongoing poll saying, will I beat the High Halls Gauntlet before I get to 100 deaths? Because we're approaching 50, and I do genuinely see myself dying like 50 plus times to this place. Because, like, look at this. Look at this. This is obnoxious. This is... You get caught in the corner trying to take out one guy, and you're just in for a world of pain. Okay. I think targeting ground guy first is priority. Because I can just kind of get into that rhythm of claw line attack, claw line attack. Ooh, you almost got me there. If I had went for another dive, I probably would have been hit up by that sweeping throw. Syncing up, aren't you? Is it that time of the month already? That is a bad joke. Ooh, he baited me. He got me, but I managed to just barely dodge it somehow. Hello. Hello, gentlemen. Ooh, boy, that was close. So like you saw right there, I did clank with the multi-attack, but it did not slow down the momentum like at all. So you just need to avoid their lines. Like, just assume that they are an unstoppable force, and you are very much not an immovable object. You are a quite movable object, as a matter of fact. Okay. Oh boy. The timing on this is getting... And the other annoying thing is, like... So you'll expect, okay, so they move around, you know, they get thrown and they get, you know, recalled back. But what will happen is that if the conductor dude goes for, like, he summons them to do that spin attack, if one of the cogflies has been sent out and away, when he summons them to do the spin attack, that cogfly will pause in its return arc. And that has gotten me a couple of times now, and it's frustrating every time, because it's like, I'm not getting hit by the cogfly's attack or my lack of awareness. I'm getting caught by the sudden change in momentum and direction by it not moving. Like, it's always when you get baited by things not moving that you feel like a absolute clown. It's like when TF2 players avoid getting trick stabbed by a spy by just letting go of WASD on the keyboard and just letting the spy, like, flail around, like, near them, but just not at them, because they, you know, spies expect people to be moving at all times because it's a, you know, it's a shooter. Like, you should be moving. But that's exactly what you shouldn't, like, you know, if you're in the world of mix-ups, not moving when everyone expects you to is the correct play. And so yeah, this is kind of a mini-boss, sort of halfway mark of the arena. not that terrible to deal with individually. Note that I point out that it's not that big of a pain to deal with individually, so you know there will come a point where you will fight multiple of them. Hint, hint. And I immediately just get bodied by projectile spam.
Wow!
But that was pretty good. Like, honestly, that was like, what, Death 3, like 4 or 5, and we got past the first mini-boss. That's... If that doesn't show you how much time I've put into this learning this arena, then I don't know what will. Oh, you're kidding me. I got baited. I got baited. Am I just gonna wash? I think I'm gonna wash. Yeah,
Wow!
it's not... Okay, now that I have a death counter, I don't think that washing is something that I should be doing. But... if the run is kind of, like... You know, you consider the rate of health loss... and that there are rounds that are more difficult than the first one. Though I will say the first one is uniquely difficult. Like, in terms of just having 3 enemies of varying statures, health, and attacks. Like, I'd say this is one of the more difficult rounds to try and get a handle on. And it, like, as the first round, it's particularly debilitating when doing a challenge run where you cannot heal. So it's like, oh yeah, you just took 2 damage, and you're not even 10% of the way through this gauntlet. Like, 40% of your health gone, nothing to show for it. So, like, there is kind of that, oh, you are kidding me, dude, of... Okay, okay.
Wow!
I'm coping. It always sucks when the enemy off-screens themselves and then lines up a perfect shot. And because they're off-screen, you don't know they're currently aiming. Because, like, when I see the flying guy go for a pin throw, it's very clearly telegraphed. And so it's not hard for him to be like, okay, as long as I keep moving, I'll be able to outpace the throw. How much health? Okay, thank goodness. Okay, we're getting... Oh, you're kidding me! Come on! My claw line was in the middle of being completed, dude. That sucks. Oh, well. But yeah, these guys are professionals at deciding when to do... what exact move is going to screw you over the most. They're pros. Absolute consummate professionals. Surely this guy's close to dying. Surely. Thank you. Oh, I greeted so hard for no reason, and I probably shouldn't have. I got mad, and I shouldn't have fed, but I did. I need to try and break that habit, because I do think if we adapt a very slow and calm playstyle, then we will be more likely to preserve health for longer. But if we constantly get tilted and allow ourselves to get tilted early on, because ultimately, getting hit sucks, but dying in early rounds is more emotionally draining than getting hit. Because getting a hit is a small mistake that can be amended with better play. Like, hope is not fully lost. But dying in an early round is a sign of abject failure and regression, because you have, like... Okay. I'm trying to explain how to have a good mindset, and these guys are really pushing me here. But the principle still stands. I think we need to prioritize just squeezing the most out of every run, rather than being like, well, the likelihood of this run making it to the end is like next to 0, so let's just give up now. That's not the mentality to have. Because ultimately, if the goal here is to minimize the amount of deaths it takes, and I don't give two shakes about the time it takes, you know, this high... Okay. That sucks.
Wow.
Yeah, high halls could take multiple streams. I think that's becoming a more apparent reality with every subsequent death, is that high halls could take multiple streams. Because, in truth, beating high halls with less restrictions than I currently have took multiple days. I was hopeful that all of that practice would mean that I would be able to knock out high halls a lot quicker, but it could be that the extra, you know, lack of tools and abilities is really a major setback. Because, yeah, don't get me wrong, like, I mean, not mince words here, cross-stitch is really good in this arena. Because as long as you have basic image recognition, you can almost always put yourself in a scenario where you're about to take damage. And so a counter that does AoE damage is very nice. And yeah, that was dumb. That was dumb of me, but oh well. If we can just manage to get out of this first wave with only taking 1 damage, we'll be a bit ahead of the previous curve. I say that, almost immediately take 2, like a dang goober. Yeah, I'm still not sold on which guy I need to prioritize, and as a result, I'm prioritizing neither of them. I think Flying Guy takes precedence, because while Ground Guy is more annoying, the fastest way to burst down Ground Guy involves going up into the air. And when there is a Flying Guy, like, hovering around his head, contact damage becomes my immediate paranoid concern. So I think I end up playing a bit worse, trying to make that work rather than just accepting that it's just a lost cause, and I just prioritize Fly Guy. But yeah, when they do the jumping attack, I think the jumping attack is my new hated thing, because it happens so fast. Like, there's almost no wind-up to it. And it's the most momentum-heavy attack they have, which means that if you try and intercept them mid-air, you're not actually going to get anything done. Like, you're going to push them very, very slightly, but nothing else will happen, and they will... Oh, you son. Son of a gun, dude. We're not, like... Man. This is rough. I'm gonna try and remind myself after this death we're going to go into the oh, the top of that horn has a hitbox? I've never noticed that. That's horrible. I always thought Team Cheer... and I got... Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Okay, let's go into the options and turn off music. And let's get something going. Is that volume pretty good? I might need something a tiny bit more fast-paced than Donkey Kong Jazz, but honestly, I'm just glad I'm listening to something different. Maybe let's crank up sound volume a little bit. Okay, that's a little too much. Okay, this feels good. Oh, this feels weird. This feels weird to not hear the music. Let's we'll stick with it for this run, and then we'll see how we like it. I do need to switch back to hold on. I need to switch back to OBS. I just need to have the sense of mind that I know nobody's in chat, but just kind of that occasional. Oh, what's going on my other monitor? Just kind of keep that sense of mind. Oh goodness. Just bail out of that situation. And that sucks. Oh well. Oh boy. Ah, I whiffed. Oh, dude. My bro is micro-spacing all of my attacks. Let's see if we can do this hit list, because I've been taking hits on this round when I really, ideally, I shouldn't be taking any damage on this wave. Because these guys are certainly annoying, and you do need to play kind of defensive around them. But without flying enemies, their ability to control the stage is greatly diminished. The main thing to be concerned about is that when you go to attack one of them, the other one is actually preparing an attack the entire time. And because you weren't paying attention to them, you're just thrown off guard. That's kind of the main thing to be concerned. Ah, I was greeting. I saw the guy get close, and I just didn't do anything about it.
Oh!
Okay. I think I like the music. I think we're gonna stick with this. Okay. One hit, bounce off, roll over here. Okay, we're gonna have to adapt. Oh, that was, oh, come on. I was trying to compliment myself, and then they were still playing the video game while I was trying to pat myself on the back. Oh, honestly, these enemies need to be studied in the way that they can position themselves to screw you over. Like, it's coordinated. Like, it has to be. They're doing pincer maneuvers while I'm just sitting here just slamming my attack button like a caveman. Like, full-on Greco-Roman wartime strategies in the Citadel. And I'm just a feral animal flying around. Yeah, that sucks. I didn't die. Did I take a death? Goodness, I can't even keep track anymore. But yeah, I feel like an absolute caveman compared to, like, the things that these guys are capable of, and I think that's maybe a bit of a better mindset. Because my default is, if it is a pattern that I did not expect, it is therefore random and therefore uncontrollable and therefore BS and not my fault. It's cope, essentially. When I don't see an attack coming. And I think I need to be more accepting of the idea that these guys are just smarter than me, rather than like, no, it's just random. I just can't predict what they're capable of because it's unpredictable by its nature. It's like, no, you can be more cognizant of space and like, I'm currently getting back to the corner. Let me try and run away. I should not have contested that. That was very dangerous. Let's get out of the corner. Oh, thank goodness. If that dude went for an attack instead of the counter, that would have been rough. Okay, okay. It also might be a thing where I've been rambling this whole time, just dead air. I don't like it as a general rule. But I might need to just kind of lock in and shut up and accept the fact that if anyone were to rewatch this on VOD, it wouldn't be terribly entertaining. But that's alright. Luckily, once when there's only one of them, as long as you play slow, it's very manageable. Because they, thankfully, blessedly, only stay at a height where the rotating attack just doesn't hit you. If you just, as long as you don't jump. And so, as long as you play that slow, it should be free. Oh my goodness! Oh, that is tragic. Absolutely tragic. I was not paying attention how close I was, and the boss scream just was not paying attention at all. That was tight. That was very close. Okay, okay. Of course. Of course. The one time I'm like, I'm gonna claw line this guy. Flying guy just immediately moves to put himself right where I get popped up from. And that was very dumb of me to claw line there, because I knew he had a follow-up. Yippee! We're back to 1 health again! I love being at 1 health. I mean, I clearly love it so much, because I'm always doing it. Okie dokie. I did. I was not looking directly at the knight, and so he changed his stance, and I just assumed that he was going into parry stance. Because if you're not looking directly at him, like, he shifts his arms for both of them, and he kind of moves them. He moves sort of his sword arm back a little bit. But they, like, you have to be looking directly at him to notice the difference of, oh, that's him going for a parry versus that's him going for a thrust. So, that was just my goof for assuming that he wasn't threatening because he was just trying to parry. Of course. The backwards hit of my needle pushed me into the hitbox of that attack. I might have still gotten hit regardless, but yeah, it's little microspacing things like that that's annoying.
Oh!
Okay, okay. Donkey Kong Jazz, I think, is the only thing keeping me from crashing out at this point. Because we're regressing to a point where I'm not even able to get out of the first wave without dying. And that is a level of demoralizing that I think it's so demoralizing I'm disassociating, and so it's not hitting quite as hard as it would otherwise. But needless to say, yeah, we have 10 waves and we're dying on wave 1. This is a horrible sign of progress. Oh, dude. At some point, the only thing you can do is laugh. I mean, it's not a happy laugh, but I'm laughing all the same. Society. Bro! I'm washed. I'm just washed at this point. Dude. They're like, if I was playing these enemies, I couldn't be picking better options than the ones they're picking. Like, it's insane, bro. Dude. Oh, my goodness. I'm just waiting for that guy to jump. Thank goodness. Come on, go for the jump. I know you want to. Okay, got through round 1, only taking 1 damage. That's pretty good. So far, I think that's as good as we can really ask for. I don't think we're quite on pace to actually complete the High Hell's Gauntlet, but this is close to pace. Or I guess this is the most factual statement would be this is the closest to pace that we can get in terms of health loss versus rounds progressed. Because ultimately, we need to get through 10 rounds having only lost 4 masks, which means that basically we can only afford to lose a mask every, like, what is that, 2.5 rounds? Bro, we're playing so passive. That dude de-aggroed from us. I've never seen that before. That's actually crazy. The level of patience we're exhibiting here. Like a freaking monk, dude. My man forgot the reason why he's fighting. Oh, that's tight. That was tight. That was very much the heart of the cards. Like, he's not going to aim towards the ground. He's just going to... It's going to pass over me. My grandpa's deck has no useless cards, Kaiba. Is that how the quote goes? I haven't seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, that was dangerous. Oh, let's get out of here. Oh, that's very dangerous. Let's just get out of here. Honestly, Clawline, like, I kind of have this just sort of instinctual reaction, this need to jump before using Clawline, but honestly, just as a very quick repositioning tool, like, Clawline's solid, dude. I really like it a lot. I guess the reason why you don't think about using Clawline is that I think Dash might be faster. Like, in terms of, like, the startup, certainly. You're able to cover more ground initially, but, like, once when the Clawline gets going, it's obviously faster. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, yeah. Really whittling those guys down. That's sort of the other thing that you have to be careful about, is that sometimes those guys will get caught on the floor, and other times they won't. And sometimes they'll fly low, and sometimes they'll fly high. And sometimes they'll get recalled. Like, it's... I would say of all the things in this high hole, in this gauntlet, where I have been saying, like, oh, the enemies are smarter than me, they're using tactics, I need to position myself better, I do genuinely believe there is just pure randomness to this guy. And it is an RNG check. And, when you play the odds, you're gonna lose health to them. Like, some runs, you're just gonna lose health. Good strats will minimize that as low as possible, but there will always be a chance that you just kind of get screwed a little bit. And you can't get too upset about that. Not saying that you should, like, it's not saying that it's unreasonable for you to get upset at it, but it is so inadvisable for you to get upset about it because there's just nothing, it's out of your control. I feel like my coherence goes down at a certain point, but the amount of words that comes out of my mouth remains the same. That seems to be a pretty accurate summation. Like, maybe, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if my diction, technically on, like, sort of an SAT scholar level, actually increases as I get more tired. But that's not a sign of me becoming more eloquent. It's a sign of my brain struggling to find the correct words. And so the extra bloating time means that I'm, like, scraping the bottom of the barrel and I pull out the fancy SAT talk. Whereas if I have the energy and the bandwidth, I'll just talk like a normal human being. And it'll make more sense to more people. Ooh. Okay, it's middle. Yep. 2. Oh, goodness. Oh, yep, yeah. 3, 4. Come on. Come on. Please. Let me have this. It's 5 hits. I don't know. Okay, these guys are unique. I remember this. These guys are unique in that, whereas most of the other Flying Knights will generally hover above, these guys just love just staying close to the ground, and that's really, like, really annoying because it means that their ranged attacks are more cover a wider portion of the ground, which is the place where I spend most of my time on, and then it also means that they're more likely to hit me with contact damage. Oh, thank goodness. 2. Come on. Still at 2. 3. 4. Bro, that double throw is diabolical. Wait, what do you mean my claw lines do slightly less damage than my normal? Is that a rounding error? Because I don't think that's supposed to be the case. I think claw line is meant to, like, the claw line has two hits to it, and I think it does 0.5 damage for each one, so I think that is a rounding error. Actually, I know exactly why that's a rounding error. Okay, so some fun math that I have been forced to learn when looking into the wiki of Silksong. So normally, not normally, in Hollow Knight, the game didn't use a ton of damage multipliers. It had some, circumstantially, mostly for, like, the charge attacks and whatnot, and some charms, but for the most part, the game used pretty linear static numbers, right? And Silksong does not do that at all. The Silksong loves multipliers. But here's the messed up part. Silksong also still loves whole numbers, even though its multipliers are decimal-based. So what will happen is your needle does 5 damage, normally, without any upgrades, which is what I have. Okay, 5 damage. That sounds like a simple, easy to deal with number. Well, multiply, 5 times 0.5. Well, that comes up with 2.5. Well, that's not a full number. Silksong does not like decimal numbers. So, it has a rounding system. And the rounding system, works like most rounding systems, where it's like if it's 2.4, it'll go down to 2. If it's 2.6, it'll go up to 3. But for 0.5 specifically, it doesn't use, like, I imagine most people were taught in school, hey, if it's 0.5, just round up. Even though 0.5 is technically in the middle, we just say round up. Silksong does not rely on that. Instead, Silksong will instead take the 0.5 and look in both directions, and it will round to the nearest even number. So in the case of 2.5, it rounds down to 2. Which means that my claw line is actually doing 1 less damage than my normal Silk Swing, because I'm doing 2 attacks of 2.5, which get rounded down to 2 each. Because this game hates math, and hates me specifically. And I don't know, of all of the decisions that Team Cherry has made, I feel like that is one of those that is very much done for their sake, like having small, digestible numbers when they're making the game, rather than having it make sense for the player. Because 0.5 damage, it should be 0.5 damage. It should not matter if the 0.5 damage rounds up or down to an even number. You feel me? Like, that feels silly. And, quite frankly, it shouldn't be rounding at all. I think that 2.5 should be 2.5, and you shouldn't have to do this thing of rounding up or down. Like, I feel like you could just solve a lot of you could achieve a better level of precision by just saying, fine, multiply all damage values by 10, and then that way the first decimal point is included in the rounding. And, multiply all health values by 10, obviously.
Oh!
Of course, again, Silksong loves multipliers. And so there's not just the clawline multiplier, which is 0.5. There's also multipliers for every individual enemy based off of every different level of damage. And then there are also multipliers for, like, different crests and different situational bonuses. When you do the challenge, this thing, that increases your next attack by 1.5. Like, there's just there is a ton of multiplication in this game, so I know a rounding system is inevitable if you don't want to get to these really gross-looking decimal numbers for all of the enemy's health. However, let the damage multipliers do their job. Don't round them up or down, because it also can really negatively affect weapons like the Rosary Cannon. One of the reasons why the Rosary Cannon is just a bad tool is that it gets really, really screwed by the multiplication system. Because each weapon damage upgrade increases increases tool damage by, like, I want to say 1.2. it's not like the needle damage where it's a linear increase to the damage, because there's so many different tools that do so much varying damage. It's just a multiplier that's added, or it's a multiplier that is multiplied to the final equation. And so the Rosary Cannon, because it has such low base damage, when you're multiplying by, like, you know, 1.2 or 1.4 or whatever, it ends up, you know, with these gross-looking decimal numbers that get rounded down a lot of the time. And so the Rosary Cannon, I think, like, only 2 out of the 4 weapon upgrade kits actually increases the Rosary Cannon's damage at all. Which is, like, tragic. Because it's already not a terribly good weapon, even if it did decent damage. But it does bad damage, so... And I don't know, I'm kind of fine with the Rosary Cannon not being that crazy. Just because I don't want people... Like, in the same way that, you know, people have complained about the shell shard system, forcing people to grind in order to have a chance at fighting enemies. The Rosary Cannon, if it was a really good tool, would be an extension of that problem, except now it's just with straight up money instead of shell shards, which are generally a bit cheaper to get in large quantities. So I get why the Rosary Cannon probably shouldn't be a good tool, but it could at least be a decent tool. It could be an adequate tool, and have the gimmick, you know, just be like, yeah, you're spending a more valuable resource to fire it, but you don't have to worry about the shell shard wallet. Because at the end of it, because honestly, the shell shard wallet is kind of annoying. I kind of wish that shell shards were uncapped. Like, I don't really see a good argument for why shell shards should have a cap on them. Like, what does it really facilitate by forcing you to either carry around a bunch of shell shard bundles or have to grind? Or like a better alternative, if we have to insist on having a wallet size for shell shards, maybe just for, you know, verisimilitude. I don't know, man. Like, whatever reason Team Cherry has for wanting there to be a maximum shell shard size. Whatever reason Team Cherry has, I would be more fine with it if there was ability to convert shell shards into shell shard bundles, but currently there isn't. That you just spend rosaries to get shell shard bundles. So it's like, if you have max shell shards, there's no way to, like, decrease your maximum size, like, and still hold on to your shell shards. It's just use them or lose them. Or use them or waste them, or rather. Finally! Yeesh. That guy took forever. 3. Ah, I got stuck on the wall like a dang goober. Come on. I hate how these guys play bodyguard for the bell thrower. It's really frustrating. Ah, I thought I would skirt between them. I didn't expect it to pop up like that, so I just pressed forward and ran into him like an idiot. Oh well. Oh boy. Oh goodness, 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 goodness. Yeah, got stuck in the corner. Dude, these bros suck so bad. How did I dodge that? That was so clutch. Three, 4, 5. Thank goodness. Oh goodness, that was close. That was also close. We just jump above. I'm gonna target you. Thank you. Okay, next is, yeah, this group. I really wish this guy would get off the ground. Oh, thank goodness, okay. We can take a bit slower now. Okay, I can't remember if there's one more wave after this, or if we go, or after this wave is the final wave. But this is the farthest we've ever gotten, so this has been like 15 deaths. This is pretty decent. I think there is one more wave before the final wave, so we're about to hit the penultimate. No, this is the final one. Okay. Okay. I need to remind myself that the priority is to not get double teamed. Like you need to get them on one side of you. If you let them just if you let them flank you like that, it's so hard to dodge. Like, you just have, like, next to no room for error. But that was cool. Oh. That's my alarm telling me that I need to go to sleep. One more. Oh, did I? Yeah, I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, dude, that was... It's a shame that I got hit almost immediately afterwards, because that was a very clean dodge. Oh, you're... Bro, I shouldn't have gotten that upset over that, but still, it stings. Sharking these guys is just very nice because they can't throw their pins directly downwards. So as long as they themselves don't fall too far downwards, then like it's just a free dub. Okay, they're synced up. It's visually scarier when they're synced up, but like logistically, it's actually better if they are. Because that means that there's less there's less to consider, less variation. Like that. I was waiting for one of them to stop because they were slightly delayed, but that gave enough time for the first one to do a jump attack, which is the fastest attack. So that was just a RNG check that I failed. Or, more accurately, I put myself into a situation that called for an RNG check that I failed. Let's not... And that was just a failed Poco. So yeah. If I was being smart, or like, I'm not smart, if I was wanted a sense of finality to the stream, I would have ended it, with the last one, because I do not see this one getting very far. But we'll keep going. Maybe I can, if I can survive this wave, I've been doing fairly well against the conductor enemies. So I have a decent chance to at least see the mid-boss, which I haven't been getting hit from very often. But that, it remains to be seen if I survive these guys. Oh, that's a good sign. Come on. There we go. Okay. Conductor enemies, always the RNG check. Oh, that was close. Oh, that was... Okay. As long as we don't play too stupid or too greedy, we should be able to see mid-boss. So we managed to turn this run. I thought this room... Here I was. Yep, we played stupid and greedy.
Oh!
So 63 deaths, question mark. There were definitely some spots where I completely forgot whether or not I pressed the counter or not. So I'm gonna have to go back and review. Oh well. That'll be a problem for tomorrow. Shit. I'm gonna remove that one. I'm gonna scrape that one from the VOD. Make sure to cut that part out. Yeah, I am tired. Anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic night. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And God bless.